What is a dead chiphead? A dead chiphead is one who has a flawed copy of their or someone else's dead consciousness recorded on a microchip called the Soulstone, which can be implanted in a real person's body, or a clone body, in their head. Here are a few examples of dead chipheads.
How's that turning into a media circus? Yeah, okay, well tell me, what's the context, and if it's out of context, what is the context? You're not saying anything, Tony.
I've given you the response you deserve.
Well, what's the context though? If it's not, I've listened to all the tapes. There's 3 camera angles of that discussion. Are you saying it's not about McKinney, about that operation? Well, what is the right context? I'm asking you. Can I ask you how it's been taken out of context? No. Nothing else to say, Tony? Okay. Cool.
Marshall Mathers will open Saturday Night Football. Mathers, it's a pleasure to have you
Absolutely.
open the show
It's
for
a
us.
pleasure to be here, and it's an honor to be able to do that. So
you have the single albums coming out in November. What are you most excited about with this new album?
nothing. No. Well, it'll be out November 5th. I'll probably be most excited to just be done with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's called the Marshall Mathers LP2, and it's kind of a revisit to the first Marshall Mathers LP, and that's pretty much all I could probably say about it. But
One final question before you leave. Some of my friends in Montana wanted me to ask you, will the Lions cover 4.5 tomorrow against Minnesota?
Will the Lions cover 4.5?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, man. I don't ever make a prediction on the Lions because I don't ever want to jinx it. But I'm such a diehard Lions fan, like to the core. So yes, they'll win.
That's all you'll say. Leave it at that.
Yeah. I'm hoping I didn't just jinx it. But
here's the kickoff. Marshall, stick right here with us now. It's going to be the Wolverines' ball. They've got the lead out to the 25-yard line. So, Marshall, again, it was a pleasure having you with us here.
Absolutely, and Brett, just like they have fantasy football or whatever. I got you on my fantasy announcer team. It would be you, and then, of course, the late great Pat Summerall, and John Madden and Al Michaels. If you guys would get together and just call a game, Kirk, you're great too. Much respect, but
Appreciate it.
But
not quite to that status yet. I get it.
Right, but you being a legend, and if you got with Al Michaels, man, and John Madden, and just called one Lions game, the Super Bowl probably would be great.
We'd all
this year,
that, wouldn't we?
But man, that would be like a dream come true for me, man.
That's great, man.
You are a legend, my friend. Thank you.
You're the legend, my friend.
You.
13 Grammys, first rap song to win an Academy Award, an original score. You've sold 100 million records worldwide. You, my friend, are the legend.
No doubt about that.
I'm really uncomfortable right now.
Okay. Marshall, take care, my friend.
Absolutely.
We look forward to seeing that
Thank
video
you.
next week.
Honor,
Okay.
thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Kirk. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Pat Harvey.
And I'm Paul Majors. Country trio Lady Antebellum was the big winner tonight with 5 Grammy Awards. Rapper Eminem, the big shocker, winning only 2 despite 10 nominations. CBS 2's Serene Branson is live at the Staples Center with highlights and backstage coverage we're seeing for the very first time. Serene.
Well, a very, very heavy debatation tonight. We had a very Darrison fight. Let's go to Terrace Chazen. Look for the head of the pit.
What is dead consciousness? And what is the Soulstone chip? What does that have to do with it?
Okay, I'm getting to that. Okay. A bunch of billionaires and millionaires got together a long time ago. They said, I can cause wars, I can kill people, I can bring down monarchies even. One thing I can't do, I can't prevent myself from dying. And so they all got together, said, let's put a bunch of Chinese people on it, and we'll figure out something with cloning, right? Well, they figured it out. And this Soulstone chip thing, they said it's like the best technology that they have. Like, people live on this way, but it's very, very flawed. What happens, they record a flawed recording of someone's consciousness, all that you are, into an apple seed-sized microchip. It used to be big as a circuit board, but they reduced the size over years, and now they have it at the size of an apple seed. They can drill a hole in a person's head or pull the person's eyeball out and insert it with a rod, just push it right in, and to a certain depth of the brain, and then they turn it on. The person's like, well, it's like body snatching a person with a lizard, but with technology. And these people live on this way. It messes the person up for like a month or something, where they can only sleep and get up and eat. They have to have a nurse with them. After that, when they come back as a deadhead, they come back basically different. It's kind of like Pet Cemetery, but not extreme. Like, some of them come back, they're just about always bisexual. For some reason, they turn child molester for some reason. A reanimated dead person, right? Yeah. They're twisted. They come back kind of like the Pet Cemetery movie with Stephen King's movie. Not as bad though, and they don't rot and stuff. But they're angry all the time. They're walking around, they're looking at people, and they're saying, and they have bad side effects. One-track mind. They're not as smart anymore. They're weird now. And they're looking around at everybody having fun, and they're like, all these people don't have these impediments and side effects that I have, and they just hate the living. They're like, want everybody else to be like them, so that they're not inferior to them or something. I don't know. They kind of tap back into caveman instinct.
Sure. Okay.
They can't fix this technology. It's a flawed technology, like with a dead end. There is no fixing it. There's trying to, though, but they said that they will never be able to fix it. The cells are grown too quickly or something.
Dead consciousnesses recorded on microchip. Now, a bunch of billionaires years ago got together and they said, we're going to die someday. We can't buy ourselves out of it. We can start wars in different countries. We can kill people from different countries and whatever we want. But we can't keep ourselves from dying. We can't take our wealth with us. So why don't we all put our heads together? We'll throw a couple billion to 1,000 Chinese people and get them all set on cloning technology and figure out how to live forever, because I don't want to die. So they did that, and they figured it out. Only problem is the technology is flawed. It's kind of like, it's not as bad as, but it's kind of like the movie Pet Cemetery, when the person comes back not the same and they're all evil and stuff. Well, what they do is they put the person's, everything that the person is, allegedly, on a microchip and record the consciousness, and then if the person dies that day, they take that microchip, because they can re-record every night, and they take that microchip and put it into either a clone or a real person's body, which has less side effects, which is what they do, and take them over bodily, just like how the lizards do, but with a microchip. And these dead people, they don't want to get shut down, because you see lizard drones, parasited hosts, they'd have to be killed to be wiped out. Like, you'd have to kill them bodily, like a head chop off or anything. But with the dead consciousness chipheads people, you just have to press a button on them and they get deactivated. They drop limp. And they don't want to be shut down. They're scared of the hereafter and all, because they've been real bad in real life and stuff, and Anyway, this is like the biggest anybody's ever talked about them. Okay, a bunch of billionaires were scared about dying. They said they were so rich they can make people die, they can start wars, they can do anything in the material world, but once they die, they can't even take it with them. They're just dead, right? So a bunch of billionaires got together and said, we don't want to die. We want to figure out how to live again as clones, right? Thing is, the clone is just like a negative copy of the person, though. So it's not even like the person living. It's a flawed copy.
Like a ghost.
So the thing is, what they do, they devised a way, I don't know how. The thing used to be as big as a circuit board, like that was not an Illuminati symbol, by the way. It's like a square,
about the size
okay?
of a fist, right?
Yeah, they tested this on a Chinese farmer. They showed me the video clips. Had it sticking out the guy's head and everything. Didn't compensate him, just sent him back home. Said they had to do something to him. They whittled it down so that the microchip is supposedly the size of like just a bit bigger than an apple seed, right? And it can totally, and it's a flawed copy as well, but not as flawed. It can totally hold your mental stuff, right? Everything that you are, basically. But they need babysitters because they go pretty whack sometimes. They're missing some stuff. It's flawed. But the thing is, just like those lizards do with the eyeball thing and squiggling into the head, rich people can put their stuff on a microchip and set this into somebody's head and basically body snatch them that way as well. And they keep it secret because, of course, you know, everyone... Oh, they can do it to clones too, but there's more side effects if you put it into a clone's brain. So they basically body snatch people with chips in the head.
They wanted me to tell about cloning. They wanted me to tell about Vril and the hosts, the parasited hosts. Now the thing is, they did not want me to tell about the Chipheads because they want to continue their fake immortality, flawed existence.
They told me so much stuff, man. I'm telling you everything. I'll tell you everything.
It's all true. I'll tell you all about it. I'll never ever lie. I won't never exaggerate. There's no need.